too early in their lives, right? I mean, we're not perfect. Guess what? We are not perfect. You may go to church and still find somebody who's doing wrong. Don't get me wrong. All right? You'll find a lot of people that are going in church and still doing things that are not right. But that doesn't mean that the faith in God is wrong. No, this person may be wrong, but the faith in God is right. So it's important to be aware of spiritual issues, to be aware of the presence of God. It's important that you bring your kids to listen to this type of show when we talk about these major issues, because they need to know that there is a God and they need to have fear of God. Young people need to know that. Adults need to know that. Men, women, married folks need to know that. Need to have a deeper relationship. Why? Well, for the simple fact that, hey, guess what? The divorce rate in this country is over 50%. Right? It's over 50%. Families are being broken up. Right? Why? Because the family that prays together gets to stay together. So it's important that we bring this back on the table. It's important. This show is dedicated, first of all, to bringing God back into the family. I don't know who kicked the name of God out of our schools. I'm not responsible for that. I'm not responsible for whoever took the name of God out of the families, out of the TV shows, out of our everyday life. I'm not responsible. But what I can do in our show called The Voice of the Guardian is to bring the name of God, is to mention that name so many times so that some of you either get sick of it and start cursing me out, or some of you start saying, well, you know what? Maybe I need to get the kids together tonight and pray and say, thank you, Jesus. We got a lot to be thankful for. All right? We got a lot to be thankful for. And all good things happen because there is a God. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. No matter how strong you are, no matter how educated you are, you got that education because God gave you the knowledge, gave you the understanding to make it through school. So don't think you're having success in your life because you are a bigger person. You are so smart, so intelligent, and so high and mighty. No. All kinds of success, all success comes from God. You may handle it wrong. You may handle it wrong, but the Lord knows that blessings come from Him. And even the devil knows that. So this is one of the issues that we're going to talk about, spiritual issues. The other issues that are that's important to our society, to our circle, okay, to our community, are social issues. We got some serious social issues going on right now in our community, okay? Certain social issues that affect the kids. All right, we got issues that affect the adolescents. We have issues that affects the young folks that are getting ready to go into relationships, that are having babies. We have certain issues that are affecting young men, young women, like drugs, alcohol, going into party, promiscuity, sex, education, being so all of those things are major issues, and there are other issues that are going on in our communities. All right, so there are things that affects us that we have control over those things, and if we exercise control over those issues, then guess what? We're gonna be better for it. We're going to take control. We're going to have better outcome. All right. For example, certain things that affects our community, like teenage pregnancy, right? Sex. They're going into that stuff too early. They don't know what it's about. So isn't it important that somebody took a stand? Somebody takes a stand to bring that issue back on the table. Why? Because if we talk about this, then parents will have the courage. Will have the courage to bring their teenagers, their sons and daughters to the kitchen table and say, son, daughter, we need to talk. We need to talk. Talk about what? Well, talk about life, right? Because before they hear about sex from their friends, before they get it from TV, before they get it from the radio, don't you think it's kind of important that they hear it from you? it's important that they hear it from you, right? So this is gonna be one of those issues that we have to discuss. We have to put it back on the air. We have to put it back in the families, because guess what? A lot of parents gave up. A lot of parents simply, it's not that they give up, but some parents, yes, some give up, right? But there are some parents that need a little bit of push, a little bit of encouragement for them to bring their kids to the kitchen table so they can talk to them and say, honey, here's the reality of life. Here's how it is. All right? So, so that's a major issues that needs to come back on the table, and we're gonna have several shows dedicated to those issues. We're gonna have several episodes dedicated to that, right? Because our kids need to hear about the reality and the responsibility that comes with sex. They need to know about how to handle a relationship in their lives, right? They need to know about drugs, about alcohol. They need to hear the consequence of those things. And if no one takes a stand to say no, if no one takes a stand to talk about those issues, if no one takes a stand to educate our children, well, guess what? They will find that education elsewhere. They will find that education in a place where you would not want them to be. And usually what happened is we find out about this as parents. We find out about it when it's too late. When they're already into sex, they're already pregnant, they're already addicted to drugs or alcohol, or they already have that fake ID and they're getting cigarettes and alcohol from the stores, or they have that friends around the corner that's buying drugs for them, that's giving it to them, right? So it's important that we bring those issues back on the table so that we can create a better reality for America later on. We can create a better future for our children later on. So issues like that are very important. It's very important that I feel that it's very important that we talk about education. Yes, it's important for our kids to sit down, to have a sit down with mom and pops and talk about education and talk about the necessity, the importance of it, right? We can no longer afford to leave the job up to the schools. First of all, the schools are understaffed, right? They don't have enough supplies anymore, right? They have a lot of challenges, and they are doing the best. I mean, if you're a teacher listening to this show, to this program, you know what? I salute you in the name of God, because you are doing a great job. You are educating the future of this country, because those kids are our future, right? Those kids are our future. So my hat's out to you teachers, my hat's out to you ministers, every leaders in the community, my hat is out to you. I salute you because you are doing a great job, right? Not all of us are doing a perfect job, right? Nobody's doing a perfect job, but when we bring our efforts together, it turns into something spectacular. All right? So it's important that we discuss on this show. We're going to be discussing educational issues, right? So the kids know the importance, so parents know how to talk to their kids so they can help those kids stay in school, because education is the key to a better future, right? It's the key. Too many kids are dropping out of school and nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's taking a stand to talk to them and say, wait a minute now. Honey, if you want to have a better life, if you want to be able to pay your rent, if you want to be able to drive a nice car, if you want to have a better future, it's important that you get that education. The young people that are growing up, the one that just graduated from high school or are about to graduate high school, or the ones that have already graduated high school, need to know that what you have in your hand is not enough. If you don't have that GED, you need to go get it. And after you get that GED, you need to find yourself somewhere to get some kind of degree. All right, you need to take the initiative, all right, to educate yourself, to get that education. So I think if on this show we are able to get at least one or two parents to realize that there's work that needs to be done, well, guess what? I will consider this show, The Voice of the Guardian, I will consider this show to be a success. Okay? Because let me tell you something. Our future is too important to leave it to chance. The future of our children is too important. All right? It's too important to leave it up, to leave it to rap music, right? To all the filth and garbage that they're listening to on a daily basis. It's too important to leave it up to whatever channel gives them all kinds of filth on TV, right? It's too important for our future is too important for someone not to talk to those kids about the future, right? About what to do today so they don't mess up their future. Let's take for example President Obama. Right? Right now, he is running one of the most powerful countries in the world. Well, guess what? I bet you, if he had a record, he wouldn't be where he is today. If he was misbehaving, if he had a prison record, if he was a druggie, if he was an alcoholic, if he didn't get an education, if he didn't educate himself, if he didn't push himself, right? If he was having babies left and right, right? If he had the kind of life of disorderly and immorality, well, he would not be where he is today, right? He wouldn't be there, right? And he's not in the White House because he's black or because he's half black or partly white. He's not there because of that. He's there because he was getting prepared. He prepared himself through life to get there. Okay? So any man, woman, anybody can accomplish the same thing that he's accomplishing right now if you don't kill your opportunities, if you don't destroy your opportunities. So there are lots of social issues that's going to be discussed on this show, right? Like love, like sex, right? Again, I do not have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. So at some point, during our shows, we're gonna be taking phone calls from the public, right? And everybody's gonna put in their 2 cents. Everybody's gonna say, here's what I think we should do. Here's what I think. And you know what? Again, I don't have the answers, but I believe that as I speak, somebody out here that's listening to this show, that may be listening to this show, has the answer. And if they call and we put them on the air, you know what? So one thing that they say may change your life. One thing that they say will make you change direction. Okay? So it's important that we bring issues on the table, right? Love, sex, relationship, marriage, divorce, right? Families are being broken up everywhere, right? Families are being broken up everywhere. Why? Because people have no understanding or very little understanding of what love is about, of what relationship is about, or of what having a family is about, right? Here's a common misconception that's going on out there. Mr. Right versus Mr. Right Now. Mrs. Right versus Mrs. Right Now. Well, it may sound like the same words, but Mr. Right is different from Mr. Right Now, because Mr. Right Now may be here to satisfy the needs of the present, of right now, but Mr. Right can have a longer lasting duration in your life. Same thing for Mrs. Right or Mrs. Right Now. All right, so these things need to be brought on the table. Our kids that are growing up, that are adolescent, and are feeling the love in their heart, that are feeling the need to have someone in their life, they need to hear from parents what love and relationship is all about, right? So it's important that we that we